Today we'll be discussing about non-Hodgkin lymphoma. What is non-Hodgkin lymphoma? It's a type of lymphoid malignancy. Okay, and it is defined as the malignancy of mature B cell, T cell, and NK cell. So one point to catch here is that it is not immature B cell, T cell, or NK cell. In that case, it becomes acute lymphoblastic leukemia, not non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. So it is a malignancy of mature B cell, T cell, and NK cell. And by mature, by the term mature, we do not mean that it is terminally differentiated. It is not immature, but it is still in the process of maturation. It is still acquiring the capacity for antigen specificity and producing high quality antibodies. It is still in the process of acquisition of all those capabilities while it resides in the lymph node, spleen, or peripheral blood. Okay, so the propensity of immune cell for neoplasm stems from their property of undergoing somatic hypermutation and immunoglobulin and T cell receptor gene rearrangement. The lymphoid cells are more prone to malignancy than other somatic cells because they undergo genetic rearrangement during their process of maturation. Until they become terminally differentiated, they undergo various kind of somatic hypermutation as well as gene arrangement, which also includes translocation. In 2016, WHO gave the classification of lymphoid neoplasm, which was an improvement over 2008 classification, and it has divided the lymphoid neoplasm into 5 subgroups. 1. Mature B cell neoplasm. 2. Mature T cell neoplasm. 3. Hodgkin lymphoma. 4th, histiocyte and dendritic cell neoplasm. And 5th, post-transplant lymphoproliferative neoplasm. So our non-Hodgkin lymphoma, the topic of interest that lies within this mature B cell neoplasm and mature T cell neoplasm. But it also includes the plasma cell disorder. In this classification, there's one drawback that mature B cell neoplasm also contain plasma cell disorder. I think we should have been kept separate in order to understand easily. Okay. So here we can, if we want to understand, we can see that peripheral and mature B cell neoplasm and peripheral and mature T cell neoplasm, this is actually the non-Hodgkin lymphoma. Coming to the next slide. B cell NHL. So we have a number of separate entities, separate diseases, heterogeneous kind of diseases come under one heading, B cell NHL. Okay, this includes small lymphocytic lymphoma, which is also presents as chronic lymphocytic leukemia. Second is mantle cell lymphoma, follicular lymphoma, Burkitt lymphoma, diffuse large B cell lymphoma, lymphoplasmacytic lymphoma, also known as Waldenstrom macroglobulinemia, hair is a leukemia, B cell pro-lymphocytic leukemia, T cell rich large B cell lymphoma, marginal zone lymphoma. Actually, marginal zone lymphoma can be nodal, that is, if occurs in lymph node, then it is called nodal marginal zone lymphoma. If it occurs in the spleen, it will be called splenic marginal zone lymphoma. And if it occurs in mucosa, like in stomach, most common is in the stomach, then it will be called malt lymphoma. Some books also called maltoma. T cell or NK cell NHL are grouped together because there are some similarities between T cell and NK cell, that is CD8 antigen. Both T cell and NK cell have CD8 antigen. We already know cytotoxic T cells have CD8 antigen, and NK cell also possess CD8 antigen. But the difference between CD8 cell and NK cell is that NK cell do not have TCR, that is T cell receptor. Okay. It so how it recognizes the antigen? It recognizes the cells, our own body cell, which stop expressing the HLA molecule, HLA1 molecule in case of malignancy or viral infection, and then it acts upon those infected cells. So T cell and NK cells are grouped together because there is also other similarities in their clinical presentation and disease progression. So coming to the subtypes of T cell and NK cell NHL. First is T cell pro-lymphocytic leukemia, then adult T cell leukemia lymphoma, T cell large granular lymphocytic leukemia, mycosis fungoides, Sézary syndrome. These come under cutaneous T cell lymphoma. Next is anaplastic large T cell lymphoma, NK cell leukemia, extranodal NK or T cell lymphoma. So one more point. What is the difference between leukemia and lymphoma? Leukemia arises in the solid organs like lymph node, spleen, even mucosa, even in eye, CNS, salivary glands. Then it is called lymphoma. But leukemia arises in bone marrow, or when the solid organ lymphoma spillovers to the peripheral blood or invades the bone marrow, it will be called leukemia, right? Now, although non-Hodgkin lymphoma are a heterogeneous group of diseases, yet there are certain similarities among them which can be very important in diagnosis as well as treatment. Okay, about 90% of NHL are B cell type and rest are T or NK cell type, so our emphasis will be on B cell NHL. Type of NHLs correspond to particular stage in B, T or NK cell maturation, thus show immunophenotype of that stage in maturation. This point is very important because during the diagnosis we do immunophenotyping either by the means of IHC, immunohistochemistry, or by flow cytometry. So the ultimate diagnosis is reached by knowing the immunophenotype of the malignant cell, and that corresponds to a specific stage in B or T cell maturation. As I have already told, pre-B and pre-T cell, the precursor cells come out of bone marrow and then home into lymph nodes, spleen, thymus, or circulate in blood, yet they undergo the process of maturation stage by stage. When they are inside the bone marrow, in case of B cell, they proliferate, they grow, and this is called antigen independent proliferation, antigen independent maturation. But once the B cell come out of bone marrow and homes inside the lymph node or spleen, then its growth and maturation and differentiation depends upon the antigenic stimulation. Okay. Similarly, T cell resides in bone marrow, comes to thymus. When it comes out of thymus, it circulates and moves through multiple lymph nodes and spleen. The growth and maturation and differentiation of T cell depend upon antigen stimulation. So there are various stages in the maturation and differentiation of B cell and T cell, and the types of B cell NHL and T cell NHL that we have already seen depend upon those stages. It corresponds to different stages that we will see later on. Now, NHLs can be clinically classified into indolent or aggressive. Indolent means it's chronic, it's not suddenly enlarging, suddenly aggravating. It doesn't need immediate treatment, and even if you give chemotherapy, it won't respond. It responds only in later stages. So chemotherapy cannot cure these diseases, while those of aggressive are very quick to deteriorate. Sudden symptoms produce sudden deterioration and they need urgent treatment. Chemotherapy responds very well and even cures the disease. So aggressive NHL is better in terms of prognosis as compared to indolent ones. So indolent ones include SLL, CLL, follicular marginal zone lymphoma, LPL, and hairy cell leukemia. They are difficult to cure yet have mild symptoms. Lymphadenopathy require treatment only when cause organ impairment. Aggressive NHL require immediate and urgent treatment, can be cured with combination chemotherapy and include DLBCL, follicular grade 3B, in which there is predominance of centroblast. Follicular has been classified into 3 grades. We will look it in later slides. So follicular grade 1, 2 and 3A are not aggressive, they are indolent, and follicular grade 3B is quite aggressive. Mantle cell is in intermediate aggressive, not highly aggressive. Burkitt is highly aggressive. So what is the relative frequency of various NHL in the population? Most common is diffuse large B-cell lymphoma, approx 1/3 of all the diseases. Similarly, follicular lymphoma 22%, followed by malt lymphoma, followed by mature T-cell lymphoma, SLL 6.7%. However, CLL is the commonest leukemia of adults in Western world, but SLL comprises only 6.7%. Both CLL and SLL are spectrum of one disease. If it arises as lymphoma, it is called SLL, or if it arises in bone marrow, it will be called CLL, or if it arises in solid organ and then it spills over to the peripheral blood or bone marrow, it will be called as the CLL. So the CLL incidence is very high, whereas SLL is considered, its incidence is quite low. Followed by mantle cell lymphoma 6%, Burkitt lymphoma even rarer, anaplastic large cell lymphoma 2.4%, nodal marginal zone lymphoma 1.8%, LPL 1.2%. So we were talking about B cell and T cell development. This is it. We can see that inside the bone marrow, hematopoietic stem cells are there which give rise to the lymphoid precursor, common lymphoid precursor, which will give rise to both B cell and T cell hierarchy. Okay, so in the B cell group, it gives rise to pro B cell. Now how do you recognize pro B cell? Pro B cell have PAX5 gene activation. Okay, PAX5 is activated, transcription is going on. Then when it starts synthesizing mu chain of heavy chain IgG, mu type of heavy chain IgG, it is called pre-B cell. Okay, now when it starts synthesizing complete IgM in the above cell, pre-B cell, it is producing only a component of immunoglobulin. Immunoglobulin component is being formed, that is a heavy chain. One subtype of heavy chain is being formed, that is mu type. Then it is recognized as pre-B cell. Now in the next stage, it has starting forming the complete set of immunoglobulin. Immunoglobulin M is present on the cell membrane, so it can be recognized as naive B cell. Now it can come out of bone marrow. The cells which fail to express complete IgM or fail to express the mu heavy chain undergo apoptosis inside the bone marrow itself. This is called negative selection. Okay, the naive B cell comes out of bone marrow, comes into the circulation and starts searching its home in the lymph node, spleen, etc. Okay, these are called secondary lymphoid organs. Bone marrow is called primary lymphoid organ. So in the lymph node as well as a spleen, naive B cell will home in two places: follicular region, okay, mantle region actually. Mantle region is the dark area around the follicle, around the germinal center. So it is outside the germinal center, just outside, like a rim around the germinal center, darkly staining. We have naive B cell. This particular region gives rise to mantle cell lymphoma and SLL or CLL, and the immunophenotype of that malignant cell corresponds to the follicular naive B cell. Now, naive B cell also resides in the marginal zone, but the difference between these two naive cells is that the follicular naive cell requires T, T helper cell in order to differentiate further into centroblast, but the marginal zone naive cell does not require T cell. It gets differentiated into plasma cell and starts producing its antibody. So the response time of marginal zone naive B cell is quite less, and that of follicular naive B cell is delayed, but follicular naive B cell response is more effective in long run. The neoplasia arising from the marginal zone naive B cell is marginal zone lymphoma. It can be both nodal or extranodal, as well as splenic. Now, as antigen stimulates the growth and differentiation of follicular naive B cell in the presence of T cell, it gets differentiated into centroblast. Centroblast divides as well as produces antibody. Those centroblasts which are effective against the particular antigen are selected and differentiated further into centrocytes. Centroblast and centrocyte are present in the germinal center. So the neoplasia, the non-Hodgkin lymphoma arising from centroblast and centrocyte are the germinal center non-Hodgkin lymphoma. Centroblasts give rise to diffuse large B-cell lymphoma, and both centroblasts and centrocytes are found in the follicular lymphoma. The selected clone of centrocyte gets differentiated into memory B cell or plasma cell. Plasma cell starts producing the antibody which is effective against the invading antigen, invading microbe, and the class switching occurs here. That is, earlier IgM antibody was produced, now IgG will be produced. The non-Hodgkin lymphoma arising out of memory B cell is hairy cell leukemia as well as SLL, CLL. Memory B cell and the plasma cell comprise the post-germinal center cells. Right? Now, T cell differentiation and maturation follows similar course. In the bone marrow, there is production of pro T cell, which then migrates to the thymus. It gets differentiated into pre T cell and then double positive immature T cell. Pro T cell and pre T cell are double negative. That is, it does not have CD4 as well as CD8 marker on its cell surface. The double positive immature T cell either loses its CD4 marker or loses its CD8 marker and respectively becomes CD8 T cell or CD4 T cell. The T cell lymphoma arising out of CD4 helper cell are Sézary syndrome and mycosis fungoides, and those of CD8 T cell comprises anaplastic large cell lymphoma, extranodal T NK cell lymphocytic leukemia. The list is exhaustive and these are just few examples. As we discussed, B cell lymphoma can be classified depending upon the site of origin. Neoplastic cells can reside in the pregerminal center area or in the germinal center itself, or after they have moved from the germinal center and settled in the post-germinal center area. The corresponding lymphoma arising are pregerminal center CLL, SLL, mantle cell lymphoma, germinal center, follicular lymphoma, diffuse large B cell lymphoma, Burkitt lymphoma, and post-germinal center, marginal zone lymphoma, lymphoplasmacytic lymphoma, CLL, SLL, and DLBCL. As we can see that CLL, SLL can arise from both pre-germinal center area and post-germinal center area, whereas diffuse large B-cell lymphoma can arise from germinal center centroblast or the post-germinal center plasmablast. B-cell lymphoma can again be classified on the basis of clinical features, clinical course. So, nodal T-cell lymphoma comprises anaplastic large cell lymphoma, peripheral T-cell lymphoma, angioimmunoblastic T-cell lymphoma. Extranodal T-cell lymphoma comprises cutaneous T-cell lymphoma, Sézary syndrome, and mycosis fungoides. Hepatosplenic T-cell lymphoma, intestinal T-cell lymphoma, nasal NK or T-cell lymphoma, and T-cell lymphoma presenting mainly as leukemia comprises adult T-cell leukemia, T-cell prolymphocytic leukemia, T or NK cell large granular leukemia. Slide is important for the diagnosis. Flow cytometric evaluation of B cell NHL. We determine the antigen present on the neoplastic cell, CD markers present on the neoplastic B cell population. So first step is determination of CD19, 20 or 22 positive cells, which will be gated for CD5 antigen. If CD5 antigen is present, we look for the simultaneous expression of CD23. It fulfills the criteria for SLL or CLL. If CD5 is positive and CD23 is negative, it is diagnosed as mantle cell lymphoma. The CD19, 20 or 22 positive cells, if negative for CD5, further tested for CD10 antigen. 5 negative, 10 positive cells can be follicular lymphoma, DLBCL, or Burkitt lymphoma. Presence of BCL2 antigen confirms the diagnosis of follicular lymphoma. Absence of BCL2 confirms the diagnosis of Burkitt lymphoma. If both CD5 and CD10 marker are absent in the neoplastic population, then it can either be hairy cell leukemia or marginal zone lymphoma. Hair cell leukemia has distinct antigen expression, that is CD25 as well as CD123. Similarly, T-cell non-Hodgkin lymphoma can be diagnosed on the basis of presence or absence of specific markers CD4 and CD8. If the neoplastic population is positive for CD4 and negative for CD8, it can be cutaneous T-cell lymphoma, adult T-cell leukemia lymphoma, anaplastic large cell lymphoma, angioimmunoblastic T-cell lymphoma. If it is negative for CD8 and positive for CD4, then it can be T-cell large granular lymphoma, aggressive NK cell lymphoma, hepatosplenic T-cell lymphoma. If dual positivity is there, which means it is positive for both CD4 and CD8, then it can be one of the following: TALL, T prolymphocytic leukemia, adult T-cell leukemia lymphoma, large granular lymphoma. Now TALL, that is T acute lymphoblastic leukemia, is not a non-Hodgkin lymphoma. It is an acute leukemia, but it is mentioned here just because it expresses both CD4 and CD8, but it also expresses TDT and CD34 in cell membrane. Now dual negative, that is absence of both CD4 and CD8 antigen on the cell membrane, is seen in the following TNHL: enteropathic T-cell lymphoma NK or T-cell lymphoma nasal type, hepatosplenic gamma delta T-cell lymphoma. Thank you.